I don't know how long I've been sitting here. Writing helps keep me tethered, keeps me from slipping away like the others. I think about Daniel sometimes, the way the well swallowed her like she was nothing. I don't even remember if Clark was with me when I got back to the ship, or if I just imagined her being there. The hum is louder now. I can feel it beneath my feet, vibrating up through the floorboards, up my spine, into my skull. It's inside me like a second heartbeat. I look over the edge of the ship and see it, them moving beneath the surface. At first, I thought it was just one of the creatures, the long coiling thing that killed Emerson. But the longer I stare, the more I realize there are dozens of them. Their bodies twist and slither far larger than I thought, stretching down into the dark, glowing depths. They don't swim like normal creatures. They glide, circling the ship in patterns that seem deliberate. They're not just watching me, they're waiting. I tried the radio yesterday, or maybe it was last week. Time is hard to measure now. It didn't work, of course. The static wasn't normal, though. It wasn't the crackling hiss I was used to. It was layered. Beneath the noise, I could hear something else, whispers, faint and almost human. They said my name. Alex, they murmured, stretching the syllables like they were savoring it. I smashed the radio to pieces after that. Not that it matters. The voices didn't stop. I've started seeing things. Last night, I woke up to the sound of footsteps on the deck. At first, I thought it was Clark, that somehow, against all odds, she'd survived and made it back to the ship. But when I opened the door, it wasn't her. It was Emerson, or something that looked like him. He stood at the edge of the deck, his back to me, staring out at the water. His clothes were soaked, his body shuddering like he was freezing. "Emerson?" I said, my voice trembling. He turned slowly, and my stomach dropped. His face was wrong. His eyes were too wide, his mouth stretched into a grotesque grin that split his cheeks. His skin was pale, almost translucent, and I could see things writhing beneath it. "You should come with us, Alex," he said. His voice wasn't his. It was layered, like the radio static, full of whispers that weren't human. I slammed the door and locked it, but I could still hear him laughing outside. The water is glowing brighter now. It's hard to look at it for too long. The light pulses in a way that feels intentional, like it's calling to me. Sometimes I catch myself standing at the edge of the ship, staring down into the depths. Last night, I thought I saw Daniels. She was down there, floating just beneath the surface. Her eyes were wide open, her mouth moving like she was trying to scream, but no sound came out. Her skin was pale, her hair floating around her like seaweed. When I blinked, she was gone. I can't stay awake anymore. When I sleep, I dream of the well. I'm standing at the edge, looking down into the green light. The hum is deafening, the carvings on the walls shifting and writhing like they're alive. And then I hear it, the voice. "Come to us." It isn't a command, it's a promise. I wake up gasping, my body drenched in sweat, my head pounding like something is clawing its way out. I think I understand now. The ice wall isn't a barrier, it's a warning. The world beyond it doesn't follow our rules. The creatures in the water, the thing in the well, they're not just alive, they're awake. And they've been waiting. This morning I saw Clark again. She was standing on the ice, just beyond the ship. Her clothes were torn, her skin pale and glistening with frost. She didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there, staring at me with empty eyes. I didn't go to her. I knew it wasn't really her, but I can still hear her voice in my head. "Alex," she whispers over and over. "Come home." The hum is deafening now. It's everywhere, in the air, in the water, in my bones. I can't block it out anymore. I know what I have to do. I've packed this notebook in a waterproof bag and tied it to a buoy. If you're reading this, it means it made it back to the world. Don't follow us. Don't try to find out what's beyond the wall. It doesn't belong to us. I hate to admit it. I have fear. We don't belong here. The light is calling me. I'm going into the water now.